You know, I really don't understand why I have to come on here for a second week in a row and tell you that a show that is SmackDown Live in its current state, with a roster that might as well have been assembled by the Greek gods. I mean, I really don't understand why I have to come on here and tell you that this show was not good whatsoever and that SmackDown Live here tonight did very little to excite anybody whatsoever for anything outside of Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. And of course, Samoa Joe is great in his own right. Those were the only things on SmackDown Live here tonight that I can truly come out and tell you were of quality. Everything else on this 2-hour show fell flat, was boring, was unoriginal. I mean, how am I supposed to come on here and tell you that a show that was main evented by a 6-woman tag team match was a good show? Why is this the case with WWE television coming out of the biggest show of the year, whether you want to classify that as WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is literally the biggest show of the year, or whether you want to classify that as the greatest Royal Rumble. Either one, because WWE was given $200 million for the greatest Royal Rumble. But coming out of two huge shows, why is this the current state of WWE television, where whether it's 6-woman tags, 6-man tags, 10-woman tags, 10-man tags, why are we seeing all these tag team matches between these divisions, between guys and gals who have nothing to do with each other, this unoriginal, mediocre garbage worth of television? Why? Why is this the case? That is what I ask myself. Because, again, do I need to list the roster that you have at your disposal here? SmackDown Live Creative might as well be the biggest gang of goddamn idiots that you can ever find in the history of human creation. Because if you mean to tell me that this is the best they can come up with for a show that had Shelton Benjamin, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, and who the hell else was the other person? The Miz? They were all working together here tonight, and you mean to tell me that you couldn't even come up with a good segment on that, right? You've got to be kidding me right there. The amount of roster that you had at your disposal, that you could have made this a much better show instead of just throwing us meaningless tag team matches that nobody cares about. Instead of giving us this silly feud between the New Day and the team of Sheamus and Cesaro, you should realistically be ramping things up, getting people excited, making some serious storyline with some thought behind it. Holy crap! There's so much wrong here! So much wrong! Randy Orton, why is he a babyface? Why is Randy Orton a babyface? You've got to be kidding me with that logic. You've realistically have to be kidding me. And I have to repeat it, and I need to put emphasis on it, because this is ridiculous. This is downright ridiculous. Why is Randy Orton a babyface going against probably one of the biggest babyfaces in your company right now, the United States Champion Jeff Hardy? Why isn't Randy Orton a heel? You've got to be kidding me with this garbage. You really, really do. It's ridiculous. Why the hell is Big CASS coming out and cutting a great promo? I'll give it to him. And why is this being followed with the same big man comedy skit with a little midget coming out dressed as Daniel Bryan? Why is that the case? Why is this how you choose to build this storyline? Why? Why, I ask you? Holy crap. Why is Rusev coming out and having Lana come out and tell him that there's something holding him back, and that being Aiden English? If anything, Aiden English has furthered the act of Rusev Day. You know what's holding Rusev Day back? The SmackDown Live creative team. That's what's holding Rusev Day back. You've got to be kidding me. Everything on this show is garbage. Why the hell do I have Asuka coming on my television after she lost her streak, and instead of going on a complete path of dominance, a complete path of vengeance, why is she saying Avengers Assemble on my television screen? Why? Holy crap! That is garbage. Absolute freaking garbage, and I'm tired of it. I am absolutely tired of it. Holy crap. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it may be, removed from WrestleMania, and I am absolutely sick and tired of the WWE product that has been presented to us. This is some of the most downright awful television that I think I can possibly be witnessing for what we have on SmackDown Live. You've got to be kidding me, bro. You really, really do. Holy crap. Either way, this is your SmackDown Live review, the go-home show to Backlash. And just like I said last night on your Monday Night Raw review, I can safely confirm to you that this show did nothing to further any storylines going into Backlash. This show did nothing to I guess you can say, get me excited for Backlash, as if there was any excitement in the air for the first ever dual-branded pay-per-view ever. No, it's not the first dual-branded pay-per-view ever. What do you call WrestleMania? What do you call Survivor Series? What do you call SummerSlam? Well, color me pink if I forgot that those are dual-branded pay-per-views. Holy crap. My lord, WWE thinks that their fans are the biggest load of idiots to ever be in creation, while in reality, the idiots are backstage. The idiots are the one who sit down each and every single week and put the pen to paper. This show is awful. Holy crap. Boring, mediocre, uninspiring garbage. The only good looking thing about this show are all the pretty lights we see every single week and all the nice entrances and of course that glamorous roster. But that roster doesn't mean shit when you got a group of ragging-tagging idiots backstage who can't tell the difference between blue and green, who can't tell the difference between yellow and red, who can't tell the difference between pink and purple. You've got to be kidding me with the television that we see each and every single week on this show. Of course, the only thing you guys have to lay back on is this wonderful Ringside Wrestling review. I'm sorry I gotta plug my own shit because that's the only positive thing that there is when talking about SmackDown Live. You get everything regarding the WWE each and every single week right here on your SmackDown Live review. So of course, make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, because I can definitely assure you this is not all that there is to this channel. Just last night, we uploaded your Monday Night Raw review, talking everything regarding that show, which I can safely tell you was no better than what we saw here tonight. Either way, make sure to go check out the Raw review. We talk about everything that happened on that show. And you guessed it, there was a 6-man tag on that one as well. Holy crap, the only difference is that one was 3 hours and this one was 2. Either way, SmackDown Live here tonight, that's the review that you're watching, but there's a lot more. Behind the Mic was uploaded this past Saturday. Not too much news on Behind the Mic, of course, that being the show where we cover all the biggest news in the WWE. Not too much news on Behind the Mic, but we have some interesting stories, including Batista retiring if WWE does not stop going black on him by next year. Some interesting news right there. We had a greatest Royal Rumble review on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. As we speak, it is up right now. Make sure to go check out the greatest Royal Rumble review. It is up on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the greatest Royal Rumble, but let me tell you, it did serve for the greatest botch of all time. Make sure to go check it out. Greatest Royal Rumble review on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Talk everything about that Titus O'Neil botch and all the other matches. 7 championship matches on that show. We talk about it all. Raw and SmackDown reviews for last week. Don't forget it. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Honestly, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click on that subscribe button, damn it. Why did I make that voice? I don't know. I'm amped up. I don't know how I have any energy. Maybe because I wasn't paying attention to this awful show. As soon as I see Big E flinging pancakes all over the place, as soon as I see Big E rubbing baby oil on his chest, I don't think I'm interested in SmackDown Live. I don't know. As soon as I see Cesaro throwing pancakes behind his head, I don't think I'm interested on SmackDown Live. As soon as I see Asuka saying, Avengers Assemble, I don't think I'm interested in SmackDown Live. But excuse me if I'm heated. Excuse me. Either way, again, for stuff like that, make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Of course, make sure to like, dislike if you disagree with me. I really have no care in the world. Make sure if I missed anything on the SmackDown Live review that you would like me to talk about. If you enjoy what you're hearing here, if you agree with me, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. Whatever the hell you want to say, I really don't care. Just use your brain, people. I mean, some people come out and ask questions like, if you don't like it, why don't you stop watching? Well, you should stop watching. I encourage people like that to stop watching because those people don't know what the hell they're talking about. But that is besides the point, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave me an enlightenment in the enlightenment box down below. And of course, make sure to subscribe because for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going straight into your SmackDown Live review. And SmackDown Live here tonight started off with a Miz TV segment, and Miz's guest was the United States Champion Jeff Hardy. All of this broke down. It was a typical opening to SmackDown Live, or any WWE show for that matter. And you know what that means. That means this was mediocre. That means this was generic. That means there was nothing special here. But this was the segment, The Miz on Miz TV. He talks about his matchup with Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship, which quite frankly makes no sense that that's happening. But he talks about that. We, of course, get build to what we're going to see between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton because it has been confirmed that they're going to have a United States Championship match. I'll talk briefly about that. And, I guess technically you can say that this was build to Backlash, but I'm going to go and override that and tell you that this may have been billed to Backlash, but that doesn't mean it was anything good. Here it was, Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy show each other their thoughts. They tell each other what their thoughts are on each other before the Backlash pay-per-view this Sunday.
Your first night on SmackDown Live, you blatantly disrespected a future Hall of Famer. Not once, but twice. I wonder what Randy Orton thinks about that. Why don't we find out? Surprise! Miss TV has another guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Viper! I don't think Randy Orton's in the waiting mood anymore here on Tuesday nights. But you gotta give credit to the rising. I can see the voices in your head are probably screaming right now. How dare Jeff Hardy disrespect you?
Really, I'm not at all that mad at Jeff Hardy. I don't see what the big deal is.
And that's the problem.
Jeff Hardy took advantage of the situation, and I did the same thing to him last week. So as far as I'm concerned, Miz, Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton are cool.
This isn't the first time that you've been disrespected around here. Remember the SmackDown Top 10 list where your peers chose you on that list, and where were you? 9th. Randy Orton is 9th on a top 10 list on Smack. 9th? Randy Orton, 9th doesn't even get you a medal.
That's true, but Miz, I don't care. I don't think anybody cares about any SmackDown top 10 list.
And that's the truest thing Randy said in months.
I think you care a little more than you're leading on, but okay. What about the fact that last week he cost you your match with Shelton Benjamin?
Whoa. That was that little weasel Singh brother with a goofy mask. I didn't cost anybody anything, Miz.
Wrong! Your issues with Jinder Mahal became Randy Orton issues, and you had to pay the price for this. You should be furious. there should be an RKO with his name written all over it. Do you want to teach Hardy a little respect? Is the Viper gonna strike?
Miz, I think you've forgotten who you're talking to. You don't tell me when I'm gonna strike. Nobody tells me when I'm gonna strike. I strike when I want to, okay? Now, as far as that United States Championship goes, I earned my rematch 3 weeks ago. So Jeff, at Backlash, no matter how cool we are or not, Sunday at Backlash, I'm taking my title back.
You can try.
You don't deserve a damn thing.
So this is Shelton
Last
Benjamin.
week, I beat you in the middle of that ring right there. So if anybody deserves a championship opportunity, it's me.
So Randy Orton starts to attack, he starts to attack Shelton Benjamin, and this starts a big brawl between the four of them, and we go to commercial break, and we come back, and it's a tag team match. Who's booking this goddamn show? Teddy Long? You've got to be kidding me with this garbage. A tag team match. What an exciting match it was, too. The crowd, they were in Canada again here tonight, and this Canadian crowd, let me tell you, they were fantastic. You know, I didn't enjoy the fact that they were giving Shelton Benjamin what chance, but they were a great crowd. They were chanting a lot of stuff in Canadian, so I didn't understand what the hell they were saying for most of the time. But realistically, it was a very good crowd here tonight, and that's what helped both of these shows, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live this week. But besides that, this show had nobody to save it, and this tag team matchup, it was what we'd see all the time when it comes to a tag team matchup between non-tag teams, the same formula. Somebody gets beaten down for however long it may be, a hot tag is made, and bada boom shakalaka. The match ended with an RKO, and Swanton Bomb combination between both men. Actually, something happened before this. Let me get to it. But after this, Randy Orton after the match hits an RKO on Jeff Hardy out of nowhere, and I absolutely despise this garbage, bro. Randy Orton's terrible as a babyface. His gimmick right now is to be stale, generic, and boring, and the only part of his game that gets this big ass pop, and the best part of it, everybody wants to see it. All anybody wants to see Randy Orton do is hit that RKO out of nowhere. That's all they want to do. They want to get that big pop, and it seems like WWE suffice with that. I find that lazy. I find that monotonous. I find that mediocre. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it came across as. And Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, don't get me wrong, I'm excited to see what they're going to do in ring at their matchup at Backlash. But again, and I stress this, I can't stress this enough, it's the fact that Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, it doesn't matter how great they're going to do in the ring. The most important aspect of any matchup and having an investment in that matchup is the storyline. And if you're invested in the storyline, every single punch means so much more. Everything in that matchup is fantastic. And you can point at the matchup we've seen between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They have so much storyline backing that feud. And when they went to NXT TakeOver New Orleans, even in the beginning, that wasn't the most fast-paced matchup, but it was the best thing ever because every single punch you felt it. You were at the edge of your seat. You were like, holy crap, what's going to happen here? You sensed the emotion. You felt the aggression. You felt what those wrestlers were doing in the ring, and it helped so much. But WWE, they refrain from doing that. They give this storyline 1 week of build between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, and it's the same generic the same babyface dynamic that we've seen all the goddamn time on SmackDown Live. It's ridiculous. And if you want an example regarding the main roster as well, you can just point at what the heel turn of Shinsuke Nakamura has done for the AJ Styles Nakamura feud, because now it's added that level of intensity, and they might not be telling the best story in the world, but let me tell you, for sure, it's added a layer to that feud. And even at the matchup at the Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view, clearly it didn't have the finish that I wanted it to, but everything in that matchup that Nakamura and AJ did, I cared a significant more amount than I did at WrestleMania 34. Because at WrestleMania 34, I cared about the matchup because I knew it was going to be great in ring. But I felt an emptiness, a void there, because of the fact that there was no realistic storyline behind it. Both men were just playing the generic babyface dynamic with no tension involved. And they weren't telling a story that, at the end of the day, is going to invest me. You can keep both guys babyface, which with Randy Orton isn't something that I suggest that you should do, but at least make it so there's a sense of competition there between them, and so there is tension, so there is rivalry. Sometimes things aren't so black and white. Have it be so both guys, they're still baby faces, but they're doing things to each other that aren't the cleanest. They're going to lengths because they're fighting for that United States Championship. And if you did that, the United States Championship would mean something. It would. But WWE refrains from doing that. Again, they go the lazy route. And the fact that I'm sitting here booking their show better than them is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. No storyline progression whatsoever. Instead of having The Miz get involved and Shelton Benjamin having to be a factor in this feud, you should have Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy at each other's throats. You should have Randy Orton blaming Jeff Hardy for his loss. That argument that The Miz brought up, that Jeff Hardy's struggles with Jinder Mahal got in the way of Randy Orton's match, and that Jeff Hardy has interrupted him. What the hell is Jeff Hardy doing? What the hell is he doing? He's making Randy Orton want to punch him in the throat, despite the fact that Orton respects him. So what the hell is Hardy doing? And have Hardy say, listen, I'm not doing anything to you, and the fact that you're accusing me of doing you dirty, like, you can easily build on this. So simple. You have tension. The smallest bit of tension can escalate. That's how arguments start. That is how arguments start. It's something so human. WWE, it's all robotic, it's all overly scripted, it all has to be over the top, when it really doesn't. The things that relate the most, the things that get over the best, are things that are either so ridiculously over the top that you just absolutely fall in love with it, or the things that are super relatable and that you can actually see happening in real life. Taking a small argument or a small difference in viewpoint between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton and escalating this into something that realistically wasn't supposed to get started, escalating this argument, adding layers to the argument that weren't previously there before. It all works. It all works, but instead WWE, if they're going to start a feud over something small, they're starting a feud over pancakes. If they're starting a feud over something small, they're starting a feud over, you spilled coffee on me in catering. That's what they start feuds over. That's the small thing to them. Not something like, oh, you cost me a match. Well, I didn't cost you a match. No, screw you. Screw you, you cost me that match. No, Randy, I didn't cost you the match. The Singh brother got in the way. Well, that's your feud with Jinder Mahal. Why is it getting in my business? Listen, Randy, I don't want you talking to me like that. Randy, you gotta stop. No, Jeff, you cost me my match. I'm pissed. Screw you. This is why Matt Hardy doesn't want to be your tag team partner anymore. What the hell are you saying to me? And it's back and forth, back and forth. That's how an argument starts. That's how an argument starts, and you could easily make that something that we can sink our teeth into on SmackDown Live and retain the babyface aspect of both Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, because they're not being heels, either of them. Maybe there is a right or wrong in this storyline, but it doesn't have to be that black and white, one. And two, it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody doing these devious things. It doesn't have to be this evil person who hates everything and hates the crowd and he's going to get the championship for himself. I mean, we're in an age where that doesn't need to be the case. And WWE's programming in certain aspects, this being one of them, comes across as so goddamn arbitrary. And it's ridiculous. And it's absolutely ridiculous. But that's my rant on that. Apparently, Paige, at the beginning of the show, announced a stipulation to the matchup between Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, which sounds like something that I am very, very interested in. I actually missed this part of SmackDown Live because it actually takes you, if you're doing something else before SmackDown Live, it takes you a couple minutes to tune in. I had to find the remote control, so I missed this little part of SmackDown Live, but it was minor. She announced a stipulation for the Nakamura-AJ Styles match. Either way, while I'm loading this, I just sincerely hope that this made sense to you guys, because, why don't they incorporate more genuine tones to WWE television? But that is besides the point. Here it is. Paige adds a stipulation to the Styles Nakamura match.
Commissioner Shane McMahon will not be here tonight. This past Friday at the Greatest Royal Rumble event in Saudi Arabia, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura fought to an inconclusive outcome when the match ended in a double countout. During the match, Nakamura used an undetected low blow on AJ. The referee didn't see it, but AJ certainly felt it. After the match, AJ viciously attacked Nakamura. Both superstars acted beyond the bounds of good sportsmanship. Therefore, to ensure the match at Backlash has a clear winner, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura's WWE title match this Sunday will now be no disqualification.
I like it. I like it a lot. It's going to allow AJ Nakamura to go to the heights that they rightfully deserve. As far as this AJ Styles and Nakamura match happening again at Backlash, I'm actually not a fan of that. We just saw this past Friday at the Greatest Royal Rumble. You could have easily prolonged this matchup a couple weeks further. What's the next pay-per-view? Extreme Rules? Or Money in the Bank? It's actually Extreme Rules, I believe. Why not prolong it to Extreme Rules to have this feud go into a Money in the Bank when they have their eventual rematch? So there, you can have Nakamura straight from Money in the Bank challenging, or with his first challenger going into SummerSlam, where that would, of course, in my opinion, be Daniel Bryan. That's what I would do there. Why not prolong this feud a little bit longer? But no, it looks like we are going into this matchup once again at WWE Backlash, a meaningless pay-per-view, getting what, in all other words, or in all other scenarios, is a very meaningful match. So I'm expecting a complete house to be burned down between Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. And that's the WWE Championship match. There's no Universal Championship match at the Backlash pay-per-view. So I expect this completely and utterly to be the main event. I think we're going to see WWE Backlash 2018 closing with a new WWE champion, and that is Shinsuke Nakamura. But I'm not going to give it all away, because preview and predictions, just a reminder here, they are coming this Thursday to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Preview and predictions, of course, being to the Backlash pay-per-view happening this Sunday. So that will be seen on Thursday, of course, probably Thursday morning. But moving on here. We talked about what happened the first 30 minutes of SmackDown Live. It took up pretty much The Miz, Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy. That matchup was won by Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. Renee Young was backstage with Carmella and the Iconics. Carmella is supposed that, or as I get a notification there, excuse me. Anyways, Carmella's supposed to be there, but she's not. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay mock Renee Young and mock the people of Canada. They bring up the Asuka and Becky Lynch match from last week, then dismiss Renee after she speaks up about what happened. They introduce Carmella next, and here comes the SmackDown Women's Champion. She thanks them for the introduction and says she's so excited to team with them tonight. She goes on and says she's going to beat Charlotte Flair again at Backlash on Sunday because she beat Charlotte Flair. She wants to be all annoying about it. Carmella says they are pretty much invincible together, so they should go out there and tonight show everyone why Mella is money and why the future is iconic. iconic. So there you go with that. Nothing too special there. That 6-woman tag, I mean, I was so excited to watch that one, I'll tell you that much. No, not really. Either way, back from the break, Tom Phillips says Daniel Bryan is currently unable to perform due to doctors not clearing him because they are concerned that he might develop a bad chest infection. Of course, we see a video of Daniel Bryan speaking after Friday's Greatest Royal Rumble match, and his chest was caved in. Apparently, it was due to Roderick Strong. So I like that. I like that a lot. Roderick Strong saw Daniel Bryan, and he wasn't pulling any punches. I like it a lot. Either way, Graves says Bryan versus Big Cass is still on for Backlash. And Big Cass actually had a segment later in the night, but the Bar was backstage walking around when they come up on the New Day. Oh my God, this was terrible. The New Day taunts them for losing the Raw Tag Team title match at the Greatest Royal Rumble. The Bar says they have always wanted to be on SmackDown. Of course, they're changing their tune after last week. They were like, oh, we're going to Raw again. We're going to win the Raw Tag Team titles at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Well, that wasn't the case, and quite frankly, they put on an awful matchup, but that is besides the point. They go on, and the Bar is given a platter of pancakes. He wonders if they put laxative on it. Cesaro tosses the pancake, and the New Day is angry. Sheamus proposes a real welcoming present, a match tonight. So Big E steps up in his face, and everybody's like, oh, that's a nice matchup. Not really, but Big E steps up to the plate, but Xavier Woods is who Sheamus really wants to face, and Woods says Sheamus' soul belongs to him tonight when they face off. This segment was ridiculous. I do not know why you are portraying the Bar and the New Day as comedy acts. I mean, the New Day should want to reclaim their tag team championships. It's alright for the New Day to be ambassadors for the WWE and for them to be all funny, but the Bar should come to SmackDown Live saying they should be furious at this point. Why are you booking them like a joke? They should be furious. I mean, at WrestleMania, they lost the Raw Tag Team Championships to Braun Strowman and a child. They were not able to capture the Raw Tag Team titles at the Greatest Royal Rumble either, and now they are stuck on SmackDown Live, a division that they didn't want to be in to begin with. They should be furious. They should say, you know what? We're going to make the best of the position we're in. We're taking over this SmackDown Live Tag Team division. Screw the Usos. Screw the New Day. You are not talking to me like that. Screw you. And they should realistically be taking names and putting in the pressure. Instead, right now, you have them in comedy segments with the goddamn New Day, and you have the Usos being completely pussified each and every single week, at least from what we've seen. And, of course, the Bludgeon Brothers are the only really stable acts going on SmackDown Live. You've got to be kidding me with this garbage. WWE needs to toughen up their divisions and start writing television with logic to what's actually going on. What you have booked. What have you booked? You have booked the Bar to take L's for the last 4 weeks. For the last month, they've been taking big L's. And you're going to portray them to be all happy and silly? Just for a little comedy segment? Holy crap, this goddamn show is ridiculous. Either way, speaking of ridiculous, is Rusev being held back? Well, Lana proposed that question. Is Rusev being held back by Aiden English? No, but here's the segment.
Okay, I got it. I got it? Yep, new words, Rusev Day song. Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
Listen to that crowd reaction. So Lana appears.
Nice shirt.
I'm concerned. Rusev Day is bigger than ever. And you had an unbelievable match at the Greatest Royal Rumble against The Undertaker. But you came up short. Something is holding you back.
What do you mean? I have a holiday in my honor every day. What could possibly be holding me back? Hey, sorry guys, just got my jacket.
So Aiden English appears.
It's good. All good.
And the image seems to be clear. And that's how the segment ends. That's absolutely ridiculous. If WWE strips Aiden English away from Rusev, I mean, this is the start. This is the start of exactly what I've predicted and everybody else with a brain has predicted. WWE is going to start to take the legs away from Rusev, just like they did with any other act that they haven't wanted to get behind in the past. When it came to Wade Barrett, they took away the Bad News Barrett gimmick entirely. When it came to Cody Rhodes, they took away the Cody Rhodes dashing gimmick. They made him Stardust. When it came to an Alberto Del Rio, instead of letting him do great heel work, he comes back and they take away the towel. They take away the fancy cars. They take away Ricardo Rodriguez. Who cares about Alberto Del Rio anymore? And they're going to start to do the same with Rusev. Rusev, you're over. Screw you. That wasn't the plan. They're going to take away the mouthpiece from Rusev Day. They're going to take away Aiden English. They're going to take away the singing act. Aiden English. That's going to be the first part of taking away Rusev Day. So, I mean, realistically, how much farther will they go? What will they take away next? I can't think of anything. But WWE, I mean, they're probably hard at work on how to hinder this gimmick. They probably put more thought into that than anything else they have written on this show. They put thought into burying people, and they put thought into Roman Reigns. That's the only thing they put thought into. You have got to be kidding me. This is awful. Hopefully, this is not going to be the case. Hopefully, Rusev Day is not stripped of Aiden English. But realistically, replacing Aiden English with Lana, I don't know. Maybe that can actually be a good idea. But then again, why would you do that to Aiden? Aiden is in a great position alongside Rusev right now. I think the three of them can be a great act together. Why not? Why not make Rusev Day like a little stable? I don't know. But this sounds absolutely ridiculous. There's no excuse to take Aiden English away from Rusev. It's WWE once again taking away and hindering the act. And it's not something that's necessary at all. And the WWE, being the WWE, is of course hinting at that idea. I do not like that idea whatsoever. Either way, we move on to Big Cass here on SmackDown Live. And like I said, he cut a great promo. I actually enjoyed this promo better than the one that he cut last week. That's my opinion, though. If you guys don't agree with that, tell me in the comment section below. Which promo did you think was better? He got more time for last week's promo, and last week's promo actually came across as a dedicated promo that they wanted to give him for him to shine. It was like his first promo back. But here tonight, he showed a lot more aggression. One of my problems with this promo from last week is that he was speaking slow. He spoke fast, and he was getting a lot of heel heat from this great crowd here tonight. Here we go. Big Cass. I was about to say Big Plas. Big Cass plays mind games with Daniel Bryan on SmackDown Live.
I know I'm better than each and every one of you. I know I'm better than everybody, and I know I'm better than Daniel Bryan. I know I'm better than Daniel Bryan, a guy who's the same size as any one of you. When you think WWE superstar, you don't think of somebody that looks like one of you. A real WWE superstar is 7 feet tall. A real WWE superstar has super strength. And we all know that might makes right. Which is the complete opposite of Daniel Bryan, who, like you, is small and weak. And when I face Daniel Bryan, you're not going to get your 5-star match. You're going to get a 5-second match.
I like that.
I don't even need time to prepare. Why wait until Backlash? Daniel Bryan, why don't you come out here so I can kick your teeth down your throat right now.
So Daniel Bryan came out, except WWE rehashed an idea. So, I mean, that they've rehashed a million other times, and this is what I didn't like when I first thought of this big Cass versus Daniel Bryan segment, pretty much, or this program that WWE was going to play up the small versus big aspect. And they're doing it in the most generic way possible. I mean, how many times have we seen the small versus big aspect go with Daniel Bryan? Big Show versus Daniel Bryan. Mark Henry versus Daniel Bryan. Whoever the hell else has been a big man in the WWE in the time before Daniel Bryan had to retire, and WWE has done it every single time, and it's just like, at this point, it's tiresome. It's tiresome. Why are you going with this again? So I originally thought this was Hornswoggle. No, WWE, I mean, it looks like they have a collection of midgets backstage. I don't know, but they had a midget dressed up as Daniel Bryan. He came out, he danced around, Big Cass made fun of him, and he got a big boot to the back of the head. Generic, and it kind of ruined this segment. It ruined this segment. Big Cass was going well. He had a lot of heel heat. He was doing some good stuff, and it looked like he was ready to compete. Why not have somebody step up to the plate and try to fight Big Cass? That would have been a lot better. Ty Dillinger. Have Ty Dillinger step up to the plate and say, I'm not going to let you stand for this. I'm not going to let you continue bullying Daniel Bryan. And I mean, I'm going to show you that I'm the perfect 10. I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. I'm going to knock you off your pedestal, Cass. Well, I mean, it wouldn't have ended well for Ty Dillinger, but at least it would have gotten him on TV. It would have gotten him on TV in a serious role and in a serious feud that WWE seems to be portraying with Big Cass and Daniel Bryan. And it would have been a lot better than this, I'll tell you that much. But no, none of that. None of that. We saw a midget come out dressed as Daniel Bryan. You've got to be kidding me. And this is probably the type of stuff that Vince McMahon finds hilarious. And that just goes to show you the issue with the writing staff of this show. They got to conform to that guy's mentality. And let me tell you, that guy's mentality and anything that I would be replicating anytime soon. This segment, which was otherwise very good, was ruined here tonight by the inclusion of a midget dressed as Daniel Bryan. Nothing that interests me whatsoever. This was absolutely ridiculous booking, and it came across as an absolutely ridiculous segment as well. Either way, back from the break, Renee Young is in the ring. She brings out her guest, WWE Champion AJ Styles. Renee goes to speak, but fans start chanting AJ Styles in this segment. To say the least, was a very, very good stuff. The best part of the night, no doubt about it. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. What's going on with these guys is absolutely fantastic so far. I'm super glad, more glad than I even realized that I would be, that Nakamura has turned heel. It's turned out to be the absolute correct decision on WWE's part. It's not something I would have done myself. It is not something I would have done myself. But WWE, they did it, and they've made the best of it. And it seems that they're putting a lot of effort into it. The segment is not on WWE.com yet, but Renee asked about the no DQ stipulation for Sunday's Backlash match against Shinsuke Nakamura as the chants continue. And AJ, I love the aggression that AJ is showing in every single promo. I wish I can play it for you guys. But AJ's showing aggression because you know he's excited and he loves to work with Shinsuke Nakamura. But AJ has shown a lot of aggression in these promos. And AJ, despite, of course, a babyface role not being his strong suit, has kept up in every facet with Nakamura when it comes to him being a great heel. AJ, not just through crowd reaction and in-ring ability, but AJ has kept up with it when it comes to the aggression and the delivery in the promo department. And I love that. AJ calls Nakamura a con artist and a cheapskate. AJ says Nakamura can play his games because that's the benefit of a no DQ match. AJ says he's out here trying to defend his gold when it seems like Nakamura is worried about the wrong jewels after all the recent low blows. Renee brings up what happened at the Greatest Royal Rumble and how Nakamura now wants an apology. Renee asks if AJ will be able to do that, and he brushes it off. AJ says he should have left Nakamura sucking sand in the Arabian desert. AJ says Nakamura ruined his WrestleMania 34, ruined the AJ versus Daniel Bryan match for the WWE Universe, and tried to take out his friend last week. AJ says Nakamura is a coward that attacks from behind and below the belt, but you can throw those rules out the window this Sunday. AJ says he can break rules too. AJ goes on and says, we're going to find pieces of Nakamura all over the place, and the look we will see on his face will be the look of torture, courtesy of the Phenomenal One. Renee asks about if the apology again. AJ says if Nakamura wants an apology, he should come out, and the music interrupts, and nobody but Samoa Joe comes out. Joe gets a huge pop from the crowd. Of course, fans were chanting, Joe, 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 and I was along with it. I'm a huge mark for Joe, and seeing AJ Styles and Samoa Joe in the same second, that's not something I'm going to be complaining about. Anyways, he takes the mic while on the ramp, and Joe says AJ is out here making a spectacle of himself, so filled with rage and anger that he's lost focus of what is really dangerous around him. Joe says AJ isn't focused on the right match at all. He should be focused on the one where Joe's hand is raised in victory, as he once again proves that Roman Reigns is a failure at Backlash. And I love hearing Samoa Joe call Roman Reigns a failure, because that cannot be any closer to the truth. But that is besides the point. Continuing on here, Samoa Joe went on about his matchup with Roman Reigns and about to finish with the matchup with Brock Lesnar at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Joe says Lesnar is the rightful champion and Reigns failed. Joe says this brings him to AJ, who needs to make peace with the destiny that is coming his way. Joe says he will put Reigns to sleep at Backlash, and then he's coming for AJ or Nakamura to beat them down and take the WWE title. Oh, believe that. Joe's music hits as AJ looks on from the ring, but the music of Nakamura hits, and Joe turns, faces the entrance. Joe is ready to fight Nakamura too. I absolutely love that. But Nakamura, and I love the way the camera panned, Nakamura came from behind and had once again low-blowed AJ Styles, and the camera went to AJ Styles. It panned to Styles and Nakamura when the low blow had already happened, so you just saw the aftermath of Nakamura with his arm right up there. So after that, Nakamura played the mind games for a little bit, kicked AJ's head around, he slapped him around a little bit, and he charged up for the Kinshasa to the back of the head, but runs right past him, and then he charges it up again, then hits the Kinshasa, gets real low on the ground, gets face to face with AJ Styles just to see the reaction of AJ Styles. I'm absolutely adoring what Nakamura is doing with AJ Styles. Once again, the upper hand after here tonight. I adore it. Great, great stuff. Best part of SmackDown Live, but it is not my pleasure to tell you that this show went nothing but to where it was before this segment, straight down back to the bottom of the barrel garbage. Becky Lynch is backstage. She's upset with herself as she talks to Asuka about last week's loss, taking the blame for Asuka's first defeat. Asuka tells her to forget last week because tonight they will hit back 3 times harder. Charlotte Flair is also there, the robot. Flair says Carmella and the Iconics think they're invincible, but they're just annoying and have lost their minds. Flair says she will win her title back on Sunday, but tonight she will teach Carmella about respect. Asuka gets fired up and says the infamous line of, Avengers Assemble. Who the hell writes this garbage? Sheamus versus Xavier Woods. This matchup was nothing special. Best part of this matchup was when Big E slipped Cesaro up from the apron, caught him into a big ending position, and Cesaro slipped out, sends Big E into the turnpost. Here comes Kofi Kingston. Cesaro slips under that and starts doing the Ric Flair little strut outside until he gets hit by Xavier Woods. That was the best part of this matchup. Either way, the Bar once again takes an L, made to look like fools here. and it was Xavier Woods who got the cradle or the roll-up or the schoolboy, whatever the hell you want to call it, and it was over from there. Nothing special here. Once again, Xavier Woods, The New Day, and The Bar look like fools on SmackDown Live. We see post-show video from last week where Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were dissing Becky Lynch as she listens. We see Paige in her office watching what happened last week, and the Absolution members walk in and they all hug. They congratulate her on being general manager, and they say, "This is awesome." They went straight to the point, and they say they know why she called them into her office. Mandy thinks Paige is giving her a title shot, but Paige says she has to earn it if she wants it, like she did. Paige announces Mandy versus Becky for next week's show. Mandy asks if Paige can give them some special treatment, and Deville agrees because they're in Absolution together. And Paige says that Absolution is dead. Well, I must be a prophet because I proclaimed that the night that Absolution debuted. Absolution is dead. No figure. They've been dead. Holy crap. Thank God this was said. Absolution is god-awful, and they continue to be god-awful into the future. Moving on to something that was actually worthwhile on SmackDown Live. Back from the break, we get a pre-recorded video from Zelina Vega. Andrade Cien Almas is with her. Vega says everyone wants to know when Almas is coming to SmackDown, but we only get to know what she wants us to know. As his business manager, Vega promises that SmackDown will change very soon. Almas hypes up the arrival of El Idolo and jumps into a waiting SUV with Vega. I love it. Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. Hopefully they can spark some life into SmackDown Live that it desperately needs after they debut, because holy crap, right now, as you can tell from this debut, there ain't much to look at, bro. There ain't much to look at. Either way, we move on to Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch against Carmella, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce. This matchup was nothing. Asuka, she got her first victory since losing to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 34 here. She made Peyton Royce tap out to the Asuka lock. I mean, what else can you say? It was a normal six-man tag. Everybody hits their moves. Yay. It becomes a spot fest after somebody makes the hot tag, and it all breaks down until somebody hits the finish. Oh my God. The baby faces won. Isn't this a little bit of deja vu to what happened last night on Monday Night Raw? I think Charlotte and Roman Reigns did the same spot, actually, where Charlotte intercepted somebody who was going forward with a spear. So I have no idea about that, but then again, I don't really care. What does this do to forward Carmella against Charlotte? Absolutely nothing. Holy crap. I have no interest in anything going on in the SmackDown Women's Division. Hopefully Charlotte is able to knock off Carmella on Sunday, because none of this is interesting whatsoever. And Carmella has not been the best of champions. She does not represent somebody who I want to see holding that belt whatsoever. But I'm absolutely exhausted about talking about utter trash. That's been 53 minutes, 54, whatever, how long we go for your SmackDown Live review. I hope you enjoyed each and every single thing that you heard here. Awful six-woman tag, awful tag team matchup, awful segments left and right. Oh my God, and don't even get me started with the awful booking decisions. For now, that's your SmackDown Live review. Another boring, mediocre, lackluster, bottom-of-the-barrel garbage edition of SmackDown Live. What else do you expect from WWE programming that isn't given to us on a Wednesday? There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is your SmackDown Live review. For now, make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel each and every single week. Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, pay-per-view reviews, behind the mic, all that good stuff, everything regarding the WWE right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. If you have not subscribed, I do not know what you are waiting for, because for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be all right here on Ringside Wrestling Entertainment from me, Joel Perez. For now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I'll see you next time right here on Ringside Wrestling.